So you're thinking about becoming a personal shopper. We've got your stack of research right here. And let's just say RoleCatcher's guide is revealing there's more to this career than meets the eye.
It really is.
Ready to see if you've got the business savvy to match your fashion sense?
Absolutely. It's easy to get swept up in the glamorous image of personal shopping we've all seen in the movies. But the reality involves a surprising amount of business acumen. This isn't just about knowing trends. It's about understanding client needs, managing budgets, and building a brand.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because right off the bat, RoleCatcher's pros and cons section doesn't sugarcoat things.
Right.
Inconsistent income.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah.
The constant hustle for clients, even the high-profile ones.
For sure.
Definitely a reality check.
Yeah. And remember those business courses you might have thought were irrelevant to the fashion world? Suddenly understanding cash flow, marketing, maybe even a bit of accounting could be the difference between making it and breaking it in this field.
Okay, so we're already seeing that this isn't just about having a good eye for fashion. RoleCatcher talks about customer and personal service, but then lists things like trends in fashion and marketing and sales right alongside it.
Right.
It's a fascinating mix of creativity and business strategy.
And that's where things get interesting. Imagine you're building a client base. You need to market your services, understand their budget limitations, and potentially work with suppliers and vendors. That vendor network RoleCatcher mentions, that could be the difference between getting your clients the best deals and struggling to meet their needs.
And don't even get me started on the technology advances section. Remember when personal shopping meant physically going to stores?
Oh, yes.
RoleCatcher highlights how much the game has changed. E-commerce, social media marketing, online styling consultations. It seems like you need to be a tech whiz as much as a fashion guru these days.
Absolutely. You could go from sourcing a vintage dress in Paris for one client to running targeted Facebook ad campaigns to reach a new demographic the next. This isn't your grandmother's personal shopping gig.
It almost feels like there are multiple career paths within this one role, which makes sense given RoleCatcher's 3 stages of career progression. You start as an assistant, almost like an apprentice, learning the ropes, but then you move into building your own client base. And eventually you could be managing VIP clients, setting your rates.
It's like building your own fashion empire, one carefully chosen garment at a time. And what's fascinating is that RoleCatcher doesn't just present these stages as aspirational, they outline concrete steps to get there. This isn't just about daydreaming about styling celebrities, it's about understanding pricing structures to manage those big budgets and becoming a master negotiator with high-end boutiques.
And speaking of those example profiles RoleCatcher provides, it's amazing to see the different directions you could go in.
It really is.
One day you're giving someone honest feedback on a dress fitting. The next you could be a fashion week, spotting trends a year in advance.
It really highlights the dynamic nature of this career. You're not just stuck in one lane, you're constantly learning, evolving, and carving your own path within this world. Which brings us to something RoleCatcher emphasizes throughout the guide, the importance of knowledge and learning.
Right. It's not enough to just know what's on trend now. You need to be constantly educating yourself. They mention fashion blogs, industry events, even taking courses in things like styling or merchandising.
Right.
It's almost like you're getting a business degree with a heavy emphasis on fashion.
And that ties back to the business aspect we discussed earlier. Remember those networking events mentioned? It's not just about rubbing elbows with designers, it's about potentially meeting your future collaborators. Those tailors and stylists listed in the guide could become invaluable assets to your business. It's like you're building a whole fashion ecosystem around your clients. But before we get carried away with designing our own lines, let's get real about the people skills this job demands. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about the clothes, is it?
Absolutely not. You're dealing with individuals, each with their own tastes, insecurities, and let's be honest, sometimes a little bit of drama. Remember those interview questions RoleCatcher includes?
Yeah.
You might need to explain not just your style philosophy, but how you'd handle a difficult client.
Okay, now that's where it gets really interesting. Imagine a client who insists on a certain style that you know isn't flattering. How do you balance honesty with tact?
Right.
Or what about a client with an unlimited budget? Sounds like a dream, but that comes with a whole other level of responsibility. Exactly. This is where the customer and personal service aspect becomes paramount. You need to be a skilled communicator, a patient listener, and maybe even a bit of a psychologist. Because let's face it, some people shop to feel good, to boost their confidence. It's about more than just the clothes. It's about understanding their emotional needs.
RoleCatcher actually uses the phrase elevate their look in confidence when describing the impact personal shoppers have.
That's a powerful way of putting it. It suggests that a big part of this role is understanding the psychology behind someone's style choices. Are they dressing for a new job, a big life change, or maybe rediscovering themselves after a challenging time? It's fascinating when you think about it that way.
We really have gone beyond the surface here. It started with clothes, but now we're talking about entrepreneurship, understanding client psychology. It's like we've unlocked a secret level of personal shopping.
And that's the beauty of these deep dives, isn't it? We take something that seems familiar and uncover the hidden dimensions. It reminds us that there's always more to learn, even about things we thought we knew.
So for anyone listening who's still intrigued by the idea of becoming a personal shopper, what's the biggest takeaway from our deep dive into this career path?
I think the key thing to remember is that success in this field takes more than just a passion for fashion. It demands a unique blend of business savvy, a commitment to constantly learning, and a genuine knack for understanding people.
It's like you're not just curating a wardrobe. You're curating an experience for your client, an experience that helps them feel confident, empowered, and ready to take on the world.
Which brings us to a final thought-provoking question that RoleCatcher's guide raises, perhaps unintentionally. They talk about personal shoppers helping clients elevate their looking A-time confidence, but it makes you wonder how much of this job is about psychology and how much is about the clothes themselves.
That's a great question to leave our listeners with. Could someone with incredible people skills but zero fashion sense thrive in this role? Or is that innate understanding of style non-negotiable? Something to ponder as you explore this career path further.
Indeed. And who knows, maybe one day we'll be calling you for a wardrobe refresh.
Until next time, happy styling.